Well, a very good Sunday afternoon to you. You're watching KTN Weekend at 1. My name is Najma Ismail. One person was wounded last night when an explosive device exploded in Nairobi's Isli estate. The device was left in a shop along the estate's 8th Street. Police have launched investigations into the incident. A man is led away by a police officer in Nairobi's Isli estate after an explosion. He is not a suspect, but the victim injured after an explosive device went off in a shop. The man, only identified as Joseph, had stopped at this shop along Isli's 8th Street. He remembers buying a scratch card to top up his airtime.
Baada ya kubai credit nika scratch hapo nikingoja change ikuje nikastuka tu yani hata siku nimejipata aje nifika huko kutoka huko today.
The bomb was allegedly left in the shop in a paper bag. Eyewitnesses point to two men, one of whom bought a cigarette and left the shop shortly before the device exploded.
Watu wawili tu, mmoja akatoka huyo mwingine kalipuka akiwa kwa mlango. Yeye alikuwa amebeba karatasi ya yellow ya green.
Na after hiyo nini kafanyika?
After kununua maji na genti ya 10 akatoka. Thomas Ela akamfuata kununua ndio ikalipuka.
Joseph was rushed to hospital. The attack is the latest in a series of bomb or grenade blasts in the country. It comes just weeks after an explosion in a public service vehicle in Pangani left 6 dead and at least 30 others nursing injuries. No group has come out to claim responsibility for the attack. Wilkiston-Abwa, KTN. Nairobi woman representative Rachel Shebesh says she's ready to face alleged charges for creating disturbance during an altercation with Governor Evans Kidero. But once Kidero swiftly prosecuted for assault, Shebesh, through her lawyer Cecil Miller, says she understands an order was issued by a Nairobi court for them to enter into negotiations within 7 days, but has no intention to pursue that option. Shebesh says she is more than willing to face charges and Kidero should be ready to face prosecution. She added that witnesses in the assault case against Kidero are intact, contrary to speculation. The High Court on Friday directed the two politicians to enter into dialogue and reconciliation within 7 days or face charges. The body of a middle-aged woman has been found in a garbage pit in Kaptembo area, Nakuru County. The deceased, identified as Ngina, is believed to have been allegedly murdered by her boyfriend last night. According to neighbors, Ngina was last seen at her friend Jamila Akai's house with her boyfriend before she was brutally murdered. Kaptembo area chief Stephen Coet says Jamila informed him of the incident, adding that the deceased was stabbed several times in the neck, after which the boyfriend dragged her body to the pit. The deceased boyfriend is on the run while Jamila is currently in police custody.
The two have been lovers for some time. And according to the reports from members of the public, they have not been in good terms for some time. It was only yesterday that the deceased was seen very drunk. Maybe she was waiting for the man to come because they normally meet at the place where she was killed. And we do not know exactly what transpired during the night. But according to neighbors, there was a commotion.
Now, the recent parastatal appointments by President Uhuru Kenyatta continues to spur different reactions, with fresh outcry from women lawmakers over the 2/3 gender rule. The president has been urged to consider more women when making remaining appointments in the government so that women can to contribute towards the development of the country. This comes days after the president made appointments of 24 heads of parastatals, of which only 2 were women. Teachers Teachers in Garissa County are angered by a threat made earlier by the Governor Nadhif Jama. Nadhif had earlier stated that he, in conjunction with the Teachers Service Commission, would sack any teacher who is underperforming. The threat comes after Garissa County performed dismally in the 2013 Kenya Certificate of Primary Education examinations. The Garissa teachers told the governor that they do not fall under his jurisdiction and therefore has no right to make reckless remarks. The governor, however, stood his ground, saying that he will go ahead and sack any teacher who is not performing.
Doing the exams here, so tomorrow.
Untrained teachers in the refugee camps, walimu ambayo hawajahitimu, hawana license ya kufundisha, wanaajiriwa refugees, alafu minisco yao inaongezwa kwetu. Hebu tukitoa minisco ya Garissa County kando na ya refugees kando, Garissa County itaenda wapi? Itaenda mbali.
We will have to restructure that sector, and if within that restructuring TSC decides to terminate, and this is the position of the county government, we are only going to support TSC where they seek our support to replace a teacher who is not performing. If a teacher out there is not performing year in, year out, and he wants to continue staying in that school and not adding any value, I don't think TSC or any national government organ or any county government organ will agree to that.
Despite its poor infrastructure and road access, the Tendawet School in Narok County joined the rest of the country in celebrating their performance after they managed to come top in the county in the just-released KCPE examination results. Pupils and parents assembled in the school and celebrated in their own small way. Take a look.
As the rest of the country welcomed the Kenya Certificate of Primary Education results, the Giants had once again taken their place in the top national positions, producing top performers. The mood was the same at the little-known Tendawet School in the remote area of Mulot in Narok County. It was song, dance and jubilation as parents and pupils of the school joined to celebrate as the school managed to acquire the first position in the county during the last year's examinations.
I advise the upcoming students to work hard like me, follow my steps and be courageous all the time and be disciplined.
The school had also been doing well but hardly recognized. Getting to its location is a challenge due to the poor state of roads. Despite the poor structures and its location, the school director knows too well how they managed to have a mean score of 358.15 with 22 candidates.
Watoto na walimu walijitahidi. Tunashukuru wazazi wenye wametupea watoto na tunashukuru tena walimu wenye walifunza watoto.
Both the school and parents have welcomed the government's criteria for the Form 1 selection with the view that it is fair to all.
Nataka kushukuru serikali kwa upande wa kuchagua watoto wa Form 1. Vile wameanza kutopakuwa shule ya ubinafsi kama hii yetu.
The school, the only one in the area, has also been helping many students who are orphans and unable to afford school fees. Ian Wafula, KTN.
Administration police officers in Nyahururu yesterday took a day off to enjoy a belated Christmas party. Goats were slaughtered and the meat was alongside other sumptuous dishes as the police officers took stock of the year that was and resolved to redouble their efforts to tackle crime. The officers who were on duty during the festivities were also joined in by family members.
After the festive season, a group gathered to take stock of the year that was over a tasty meal, at the center of which was a Kenyan staple, nyama choma. But this was no ordinary group. The individuals who were busy slaughtering goats and preparing the meat for the feast had spent the whole year chasing after criminals and ensuring the country's security. On this day, as the rest of the country returned from the December festivities, they took some time out to celebrate too. The administration police officers gathered at the Nyahururu Deputy County Commissioner's compound. The government had allocated the officers funds for their annual party, and this year they decided to extend an invite to other partners, ensuring the security of the public.
Since Christmas inakuanga na promotion nyingi, we decided kwamba tuweze ku provide security to the members of the public, waweze kukula Christmas vizuri, and vile vile waweze kukula New Year vizuri, so we have to celebrate ours.
Those invited to the party included regular police from both Nyandarua and Laikipia counties, the prison department, members of the Kenya Defence Forces, officials from the Community Policing Initiative, the clergy and the media.
Kama ninaona kwamba we are doing a commendable job, ambayo inastahili pia tupewe appreciation ya kwamba tuwe na wakati ya kusherehekea pia na jamii zetu.
Police officers who had done well in 2013 were feted, and after an afternoon of making merry, officers resolved to redouble their efforts toward a crime-free society. Wilkis Nyabwa, KTN.
We now revisit our earlier story on the president's appointment. The recent parastatal appointment by President Uhuru Kenyatta continues to spur different reactions, with fresh outcry from women lawmakers over the 2/3 gender rule. The president has been urged to consider more women when making remaining appointments in the government so that women can too contribute towards the development of the country. This comes days after the head of state made appointments of 24 heads of parastatals, of which only 2 were women.
We want to thank His Excellency, and we want to thank his deputy for this kind of recognition that he's given to the community for the first time in 50 years. And I want to repeat this. And the only urge that I would do is that next time we want to also have women who are parastatal heads. We also want to see CEOs coming from Upper Eastern, because you also have what it takes for women. So I think the next in the line, I think we'll be pushing that, and I hope that will be listened to.
Now back home, property believed to be worth $500,000 shillings has been destroyed following a fire that broke out at a residential home in Kisumu County earlier this morning. George Okumu and his family have been rendered homeless after the fire destroyed their house and everything inside it. According to Okumu, the fire that started at around 9 a.m. was caused by an electrical fault. No casualties have been reported.
I saw the fire from one of the bedrooms, that is the children's bedroom. And when I asked her what could have been the cause of the fire, because I suspected it started from the kitchen. But from the kitchen, there was no fire.
Now, if you are one of those who use meat and cowhides and quickly throw away horns, a group of young people in Nyeri are out to show you that you are literally throwing away money. They have found a way of earning a living through collecting cow horns from slaughterhouses and turning them into useful items. Carol Nderi has the story.
The word cow for many is synonymous with the delicacy nyama choma and the like that has many a Kenyan taste buds tingling. But a group of young people in Nyeri are scrambling for a part of the animal that is considered a reject and one that many people do not pay attention to: cow horns. Gitito Jubilee Youth Self-Help Group that comprises 17 members have seemingly struck gold where others would rather not venture. This after days of earning peanuts doing odd jobs that would hardly sustain their needs. Jonah Musa, the group's founder, says many thought he had lost his mind when he was spotted scavenging through wastes in slaughterhouses in Nyeri.
Beleni walikuwa nafikiria nimelukwa na kishwa. Lakini kwa sasa hivi wanaona kuna vitu zenye tuna make na hizo pembe.
The horns are used to make earrings, necklaces and other ornaments, but first they have to be thoroughly cleaned with water and a bleaching agent to whiten them. The cleaning is also useful just in case the animal might have had a communicable disease that might otherwise be transmitted to humans.
Kama ni pembe tukishaokota, tunakuja tunasafisha, tukishamaliza kutengeneza products zetu, tukikata tunaweka na ile shape tunataka, baadaye tunasisuku kwa jik.
Kwa hivyo vijana wasikae ovyo ovyo kwa sababu kazi ni mingi. Ujihusishe na jambo fulani ile itakuingiza faida.
They are then dried and chiseled to the desired shape. Painting is then done and voila, the ornaments are ready. A pair of earrings fetches about 30 shillings and a necklace goes for about 50. And did you know that the powder that is collected from the shaping and the carving of the horns is useful too? Dog owners make a beeline to the group's stand along the Nyeri Mokoroni Road to purchase the powder that is then fed to dogs. A little powder in the dog's ugali fools the canine that there is some meat in the food. A clever trick for those who cannot afford meat daily for their pet.
Natengeneza ikiwa kwa ugali, inakula sawa ikiwa complete meal yenye protein, calcium pamoja na carbohydrates.
The youths began their business sometime last year and are hopeful that the market for cow horn ornaments will steadily increase.
Hata hii kama hii ni pembe ya ng'ombe, haiwezi katika, haiwezi haribika hata ukiweka wapi. Itakuwa mzuri. Na wengine wanakweza kuwa wanasupport hii job yetu.
Well, there you have it. Now you know that cows are not just useful for the beef, the milk, and probably the hide. The horns themselves are useful too, just as the Gititu Youth Self-Help Group have discovered and making a livelihood for themselves. Carol Derry for KTN in Nyeri.
Welcome back. An undisclosed but sensitive medical issue which has seen Zimbabwe's MDC leader Morgan Tsvangirai frequently visiting Nigerian prophet TB Joshua is at the center of the former premier's marital problems. This is according to the Zimbabwean media. Tsvangirai this week confirmed his wife Elizabeth was no longer living with him at the Harare mansion acquired for him by the government while he was prime minister in the last coalition administration. His ex-wife, on the other hand, reacting over the divorce, clarified that politics and her husband's defeat in the July 31st elections last year to President Mugabe were not responsible for their problems. Tsvangirai's ex-wife, Elizabeth Masheka, is a daughter of a senior ZANU-PF official, Joseph Masheka, a close ally of President Robert Mugabe. We now move on to the sports news. The FA Cup is back again this Sunday evening as the top team in the league take on second-tier team in tricky matches. Manchester United, Liverpool and Chelsea will all be in action. Manchester United will be without striker Wayne Rooney and Robin van Persie. United have not won the FA Cup since 2004 when they beat Millwall in the final. Swansea have never won at Old Trafford and come into the tie on the back of 7 games in all competitions without a victory. Chelsea defender David Luiz could return against Derby after suspension but Frank Lampard, Branislav Ivanovic and Marco van Ginkel all remain unavailable through injury. Liverpool are without Daniel Sturridge, Joe Allen and Mamadou Sakho for today's tie with Oldham. Borussia Dortmund striker Robert Lewandowski is set to join German side Bayern Munich in June after a pre-contract agreement. The 25-year-old Poland international has agreed terms on a 5-year deal and will arrive at Bayern on a free transfer when his contract expires. Lewandowski is the second key Dortmund player within a year to announce a move to Bayern after playmaker Mario Götze agreed to transfer the Allianz Arena last April. Lewandowski has helped Dortmund to the 2010, 2011 and 2011-2012 Bundesliga titles plus the 2012 DFB Pokal Cup since signing from Lech Poznan in 2010. He played a starring role in their run to an eventful Champions League final defeat to Bayern last season, memorably scoring 4 goals in the semi-finals first leg against Real Madrid. Jurgen Klopp's side have struggled this time, however, and sit 12 points behind leaders Bayern in 4th. Thank you very much. That has been KTN Weekend at 1. My name is Najma Ismail. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.